Andy Griffith Show, Facts and Trivia. Appreciate you being here. Before we get started, I ask you to please subscribe. I ask you to please share these out on Facebook. Thank you very much. I hope you had a great weekend. The weather's getting colder and it's getting harder to have a good weekend. And anyway, real quick, for the person who commented and said, I talk too much. This is for you. Hold on. There you go. Okay. Today's video is on Elinor Donahue, according to Karen Knotts, told her that in a very difficult time during the show for her, that Don Knotts was the only one of the show, only member, that called her and checked on her. Which, at the beginning of a show, they're not all that close, so it's understandable, but this is what went down with a little bit of extra. Here we go. Elinor Donahue told the Television Academy Foundation how she came to be cast in the 1960s, in 1960 on the Andy Griffith Show. I was called in the office to meet with the producers, went home that afternoon and found out I had the part. I didn't even read or anything. I didn't know that much about it, except that it was going to be a show with Andy Griffith. And of course, our character Ellie arrives in Mayberry, having taken over the drugstore from her uncle, and then eventually begins dating Andy Taylor. Although she had a 3-year contract with CBS, she asked to be let out of the show early after a year. She explained to Don Knotts' daughter, Karen, in her recent book, Tied Up in Knots, My Dad and Me. She was only 23 years old when she appeared on the show. The show she was on, Father's Knows Best, ended abruptly, and she had no idea how to live a normal adult life. She got married, had a baby, and then found herself divorced. She then accepted the role of Ellie on the series. But soon left undermined when some of the funnier lines in the script were given to Don Knotts by Griffith. So he would take things that were actually written for Miss Ellie and the sheriff and give them to your dad, Donahue told Karen. And of course they were funny, and they made those two characters so rich and terrific. But I felt that it was because I was so terrible. Between her lack of self-confidence on the set and her problems, she began to lose weight and was becoming anorexic. She developed pneumonia, which kept her off the show and required scripts to be written around her. While she was hospitalized for treatment of pneumonia, she told Karen Knotts, no one from the show rang her to ask how she was, except for Don Knotts. The only person who called me from the show was your dad, the actor said. He wanted to make sure I was all right. He was just absolutely precious. I was very, very touched by that, and it meant the world to me at that point in time. Finally, Donahue made the decision to leave the show and take care of herself. I had my agent ask for my release, and they said okay. There didn't seem to be any fight about it, so she left the show at the end of the first year. Now, while Donahue was feeling she wasn't bringing anything to the comedy, Griffith thought he had failed the actor, and nearly every female character that had been brought on as a love interest for him. Arthur Richard Kelly, who wrote the Andy Griffith Show book, quoted the show's star as saying, "We never knew how to write for women. We never did know, and because of my peculiar nature and my personal relationship with women and the difficulty that I've always had with them, it became even more difficult for us to write for women." And that's what I've got for you. Again, I say, this was the first year of the show, so I'm sure none of them were very tight. They probably should have checked on her. And God bless Don Knotts for being the man he is, and he did. But if she had been on the show for years to come, I'm sure she would have been just as tight with them as, as they all became. But she sounds like a really terrific person, just like the rest of the cast. And I'm sure she hadn't had all the problems that had worked out, because they did have decent chemistry, although she was not my favorite partner for Andy. Matter of fact, I'm among the I'm in the minority on this because I really liked him with Helen, even though she got angry and kind of pissy at times. But I thought they made a good couple and a great chemistry. Anyway, as I said, that's all I got for you. Don't forget the Facebook trivia question. Go see if you can answer that, and the other few things I put on there. Again, please don't subscribe. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel and to share it out on your Facebook page. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. We'll catch you tomorrow. God bless. Be praying for you.